my name is Angie. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. This is a channel where I typically like to make videos about books as well as homeschooling, mostly book related. So today's video is the second video in a series. So the series I am calling Spring Through the Genres. In this series I'm sharing my book lists, the list that I have compiled through my own research, through recommendations that I'm very excited about. Yesterday I did a video covering my contemporary list. Today I'm going to do a video covering my science fiction kind of list. Tune in for the rest of the week to see what other books are on my lists. So this video is science fiction. It is the imagination of what science could be. It's usually well within the laws of science. So you'll see I have some dystopian science fiction, some bioterrorism type science fiction, some space science fiction. So it's kind of a fun list. And so I'm excited to share it with you, and I hope you like them. First book is The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. It came out in 1998, so it is my oldest book on this list. It is about a society, a dystopian society, where women have kind of lost privileges. They used to be able to kind of lead normal lives, but things have happened that has resulted in them being viewed more as second-class citizens. Within this dystopian world, there has been a loss of fertility. So the birth rates have gone way down, and for some reason most women cannot get pregnant, and the women who can, the women who are still fertile, are very highly valued. Now, the problem is as women have lost their rights, these fertile women are often taken out of completely respectable families and lives and placed into different homes of important men in the culture and forced to try to get pregnant with them. I don't know if I even explained that very well for people who have read it. So I'm really excited about that. It's definitely been a book that I've been wanting to read for a while. The second book on my list is called Spiral by Paul McEuen. It was published in 2011, so again, it's still a pretty old book. So this is a story about bioterrorism. In this case, it's nanotechnology. How this book opens up is through the suicide of a Nobel laureate. So a man who is very well respected in the field of nanophysics, and he has created these little nano robots that are kind of the size of spiders and is very advanced in his field. And so he is found to have jumped from a bridge. But his colleagues don't believe that, and so they suspect foul play. So they start looking into it. When they found out there was a robbery of the lab of the Nobel laureate, and some of these nano robots were stolen. So they know he probably didn't commit suicide, and then I think the book plays itself out from there. So that sounds really interesting. I like the mesh of like a police procedural murder mystery plus science fiction. That's probably one of my favorite genres. The third book I am super pumped to read is The First 15 Lives of Harry August, written by Claire North. It's published in 2014. This is another kind of out of order book that I tend to gravitate towards. So in this case, Harry is a man who lives out his entire life, and upon dying, he starts his life back over, but the catch is he remembers everything that has happened in his life, and it never changes. It's always the same for the first, I think, 11 years. So in his 11th year, right before he was about to die, he actually gets a message from this girl who's like, "Mr. North, I have a message for you." And I don't know what it is yet. Obviously, we don't know what it is yet, but that causes something to change. So then when he starts to relive the next couple lives, he has more information, and I think he starts changing things. And so that just sounds so interesting to me. I just love that kind of stuff. The fourth book is The Martian by Weir. It was published in 2014. I actually started reading this. It was so far really interesting. So this is a story about an astronaut on a trip to Mars. So they're exploring Mars, and they land on Mars, and something fails and something goes horribly wrong, and the team has to leave in kind of an emergency situation. And he gets left behind accidentally. Most of his crewmates thought he was dead. It goes on to tell how he kind of makes it work because he doesn't have the supplies. This is just a story of a man's ingenuity, his ability to take kind of a bad situation and figure out how to fix problem after problem after problem in order to try and stay alive for the next ship to come, or try and figure out a communication system to get a communication to Earth, to get another ship there. I'm excited to finish this book. I didn't get too far before I got distracted. So the sixth book I have on my list is The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. It's published in 2015. So this book is probably the one that is most out of my comfort zone, but I'm reading it for an online book club that I like to participate in that is hosted by Emily, and her booktube channel is called ARG Schooling. She's the writer of one of the main curriculums we use for homeschooling, and I just love her. She's fantastic. So this is a story about a post-apocalyptic world, and there's a woman who is seeking to reunite her family. Something happened. It sounds like her husband took her daughter, and then all these terrible things happened on the planet, and it's covered in ash. And some of the reviews I've read on this say it has a lot of good fantasy elements and good world building, and I'm excited to get to it. But I will, because it's part of an online book club, which is one reason I think book clubs are so awesome. The seventh book that is on my list is Scythe by Neal Shusterman. And I'm about halfway through it. I put it down when I got distracted a couple months ago, but I want to pick it back up because it's a trilogy and the whole thing sounds very interesting. And the basic premise of the story is that the world has reached a point where death doesn't happen. Like, science and technology is so good that people never die. But there has to be something in place to control population. So there are these people, they're kind of special. They're the elite of the society that are called Scythes. The story is about two apprentices. So these kids, teenagers, are selected to apprentice under a scythe. They basically get training into how to kill professionally, how to kill with mercy, and all of these things. And it follows the story of these kids as they do that. And I think that's most of book one, is their apprenticeship. And I'm looking forward to finishing that book and picking up the other two if I like it. I'm pretty sure I will like it. I liked the first half. I thought it was very interesting. So, okay, the eighth book on my list is Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. So it's about a physics professor, just kind of a run-of-the-mill physics professor with a family, and one night he is kidnapped. He is kidnapped, and his abductors inject him with this drug that changes things. And this is kind of the part of the science fiction part that is very interesting. So they inject him, and then when he wakes up, his reality is different. It's different in the sense of, like, his house is not his house, his wife is not his wife, his son hasn't even been born. Things are changed and different due to this drug. And I have no idea where it's going to go from there. That's basically the blurb, and that sounds really interesting and kind of freaky in the, like, mess with your head sort of freaky. So I'm looking forward to reading that one. That's on my list. And the last book on my list is called Exhalation. Story. So it's short stories. This was published in 2019. And what drew me to this was I saw it on the list of the 2019 summer reads recommended by President Obama. And I'm a big President Obama fan. I just wish he was still around. And so let me read to you what he said about these short stories that has made it so intriguing for me. So his quote on them is, "It's a collection of short stories that will make you think, grapple with big questions, and feel more human. The best kind of science fiction." And I mean, if that doesn't intrigue you or make you want to pick this up, I don't know what wouldn't. It's a compilation of short stories, so I can't say what it's about, but that is what President Obama said about it. So that's pretty exciting. So that's my list of science fiction. I'm super excited. I hope you found some you like. Let me know if you've read any. Again, let me know if you think there are some that I would like based on these 8 selections. I would love to increase my list. There'll be more videos the rest of this week to go through my list of favorite books in different genres. So I hope you will join me. Please consider liking and subscribing. And thank you for stopping by. Okay, I will check in with you again tomorrow. All right, take care. Bye.